Okay, nothing is ever wasted. So I'm at home and in the run up to Christmas and I'm watching that film called CASTWAY. I don't know if any of you have seen it, and I'm definitely not going to give away any spoilers. It stars Tom Hanks as this time-obsessed engineer. I mean, he's so time-obsessed that his whole work-life balance is out of sync to the point where it causes havoc in his life, in his relationships, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, he gets this phone call from his bosses saying that he has to fly out to Malaysia in order to deal with the situation, and the plane crashes, he finds himself stranded, and he's on this island and he basically has to get to grips with his own survival. Anyway, there was this key moment in this film where he's going through the debris of this plane and he opens this box and you just see this look of dismay on his face, because inside is some ice skates. So he flings the ice skates into the ocean, and then it's only moments later that he has to go back in and dive and retrieve them. Like, why was the ice skates important? Because they had blades on the bottom and the blades could be used to cut. The blades were on the bottom of those ice skates, something that he disregarded was going to be essential for his survival. And it reminds me a great deal, actually. When I go into schools and I'm speaking to young people, they often tell me, like, well, why should I learn, Pythagoras theory? Like, how's that ever going to be any use to me? I remember this student saying to me, well, French, like, I can't see myself going out to resettle in France anytime soon. Loads of people disregard stuff that is absolutely important and imperative to their survival, and I always think it's a shame, because rather than look back on that experience as something that you can learn from, grow from, live from, even reflect back to say, well, you know what, there's a challenge and I've overcome it, we're very, very quick to disregard stuff because we think it's not important, it's not essential. How many of us as practitioners, as parents, as adults, like, we quickly disregard the time, just like Chuck did with the families and the loved ones, yet still, when everything else goes wrong, they're the relationships that are going to sustain us and keep us going. I suppose my real big key question is, what are you throwing away? What are you disregarding and saying it's not important? Because I'm going to tell you this, nothing is ever wasted. And it doesn't matter if you're a parent, those conversations you might be having with your son or your daughter, I get it, like, they're not listening to you. You might be the teacher at the front of the classroom and all you see is these pesky kids just consistently winding you up, actually making your life hell. It might be that actually you're a brother or a son, and your household is going through real detriment. It might be that you're a girl and that actually you're consistently experiencing stuff, and like, actually you're just saying, well, what's the point? I want to say to you, like, nothing is ever wasted, and don't you dare ever throw it away. Now, it's true that no one knows what anyone else is going through. Actually, I can't imagine what anyone that's watching this video has experienced. I can empathise, I can sympathise with your life story, but I can't ever experience it the way that you have. But I want you to understand something. Nothing is ever wasted. Now, you might not see the outcome. I think back to the arguments, God rest her soul, my mother, Gloria, some of the arguments that me and her used to have. She never got to see the son that she deserved. But what I can say is this, that some of the discussions that me and her had, like, some of the stuff that she used to impart to me, like, none of those conversations were ever wasted. And I can say that from hand on my heart, because many of the stuff that she told me as a child growing up, I recount to the young kids now. The messages of keep going, the messages of stay strong, the messages of, like, actually believe in yourself, give yourself that 100%, or don't even try. Those are the sort of messages that are manifested in the children that I work with, and hopefully will be manifested on. Like, so those discussions, those arguments, those times I made her cry, those times I got her upset, they were never wasted. I'm going to say the same thing to you. No matter what it is that you're experiencing, whatever challenges you're going through, I want you to understand one thing, and that is that nothing's ever wasted. Not one tear, not one discussion, not 1 hour, not one moment, not 1 minute, not 1 second. Believe in that and understand that it's definitely true, and anything that you have, regardless of whether you think you've disregarded it or not, will bear influence and will bear fruit on your life if you allow it to. So I'd love to see your comments to this video below. Like, comment, subscribe. My name is Junior Smart, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.